WNBA superstar Brittney Griner testified in her own defense for the first time today in a Russian courtroom and was cross-examined by prosecutors, also questioned by the judge. Griner was questioned about what happened when she was stopped on arrival in Russia in February after Russian authorities found vape canisters containing cannabis oil in her luggage.
We had to use my phone and Google Translate for him to be able to tell me a little bit. There was a lady that was there that they said was an interpreter, but it was more just her telling me surname, sign, really short words. She didn't explain the content of the paper. Like, I didn't know exactly what I was signing. No, my rights were never read to me. No one explained any of it to me.
Griner has pleaded guilty to drug charges and, if convicted, could face as long as 10 years in prison. Joining me now is former Undersecretary of State Richard Stengel. Rick, thanks so much for being with us. This trial, since February, she's been locked up. She can't get any kind of preserve her, physical training. She's missing the season, and she's 31 years old. And her lawyers have said that this could go on until August, even though she's pleaded guilty already. What do we know about the Russian court system? We understand that the Secretary of State Blinken is going to have a news conference at 2 today, and I'm, of course, going to be there. There's a whole question as to whether there's something on the table now, even for any kind of a prisoner swap.
Yes, Andrea. The Russian court system is a draconian system. It's based on Roman law, unlike our system, which is based on English law. It's seen as an arm of the state. They have a 99% conviction rate. That means of all the defendants, only 1% go free and are not convicted. So that's one reason that it was smart of Ms. Griner to plead guilty. The Russian court system doesn't like it when you really try to defend yourself. So, obviously she'll be sentenced. Whether that sentence is very harsh or lighter will be a signal of what the Russians see her as. I mean, she's a bargaining chip to them, and the steeper the sentence, the more they feel they could probably get leverage for her. They see her as a negotiating tool, and I'm completely sympathetic to her position. It's an awful position to be in, as is any American who is unfairly imprisoned abroad.
And there are more than 50 Americans between Iran and Turkey and other countries who are imprisoned abroad. There's Paul Whelan and Mark Fogel in Russia. Paul Whelan is considered wrongfully detained, as is Griner. It's not clear why Fogel has not gotten this kind of designation or attention from the hostage negotiators at the State Department.
Yes, I did a little bit of work with hostage negotiation when I was at the State Department, and I just want to be clear. The U.S. government spends incredible amounts of time and money worrying and working on this. And for each person who is unfairly imprisoned or is a hostage abroad, they are the focus of their family's interest and love and care. So to each of those families, their husband, their daughter, their wife, is the most important person, but the U.S. government has to represent all of them. And sometimes all of this publicity that we give to this, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, it doesn't necessarily help people who are behind bars over there, because it gives the person who's holding them, in this case Russia, more incentive to hold them because they feel they have more bargaining power. So that's the kind of contradiction and sad irony of the situation that most of them are in.
And she is in a particular situation because in Sochi, the year of Sochi's Olympics, they passed a law against LGBTQ athletes, in fact, participating. There was a big mess about that. Our friend and colleague Mike McFaul had to get involved in trying to negotiate that out on behalf of the American athletes and some of the others around the world, who are in these same categories. So she has a particular, also burden, potentially, in their legal system. She made it clear today that she would never take medical cannabis during a competition because she would be disqualified. She said, quote, your career would be over. So that it was a mistake, she said, that it was still in there. She had just had COVID. She had 102 fever. She was not physically fit, coming out of that. So there were other extenuating circumstances that she is trying to persuade the court of. Could that be helpful in trying to get leniency?
Yes, it might be. I mean, as they say in law school, every crime is based on a bad act and criminal intent. That's even true in the Russian court system. And she's saying she didn't have criminal intent. It was an accident. She was packing quickly. That, they did bring out the fact that that she had a medical prescription for it, for pain relief. Again, that's not legal in Russia, but that may be mitigating circumstances. And I'm glad you mentioned the LGBT issues, because maybe I'm going a little far afield here, Andrea, but Russia is this sort of white nationalist state that people on the far right of the United States seem to want, where people of color, people of different sexual persuasions do not have the same rights as other people. And it's a really autocratic, authoritarian state. And she right now is a victim of that. And I hope we figure out a way to get her back, as well as the other Americans who are being held hostage.